compete, compete, compete. This has been the mantra of the Seattle Seahawks ever since Pete Carroll became the head coach back in 2010. This phrase embodies everything about this team. Honestly, it's the reason why lower round players like Richard Sherman and Cam Chancellor had a chance at becoming star players on the field. When I look at the Seahawks draft, there is one player that I truly believe exemplifies this phrase. That player is Will Dissly, the fourth rounder at the University of Washington. As a prospect, he's a tight end that stands at 6'4" and 260 pounds. He started his career as a defensive end before making the switch to the offensive side of the ball. His best traits by far are his effort and his toughness on the field. In my opinion, with proper coaching, he can become a very effective player in the NFL. When you look at Will Dissly, he's not a very athletically gifted player. He's pretty much below average in every receiving metric that's important. His 40-yard dash, his vertical jump, and his broad jump, there's really nothing about him that jumps off the charts to wow you. Now, there is a pretty big difference in the type of tight ends that enter the NFL, but his upside is relatively limited compared to these players. So, the question you have to ask, why do I like him so much? My answer is actually pretty simple. His run blocking is what really excites me. You can't not like his effort. He'll keep working down the field, and he has a natural feel for body positioning in order to seal the edge. At Washington, he was used inline as a blocker, but also as a sift blocker, and knowing the Seahawks, they're going to use him in the same way. He was pulled around the formation, and he was also used in motions a fair number of snaps. The coaches obviously loved him, and they knew exactly what his strengths were and how to use him on the field. In my film study, there were a couple plays that really showed off his value. Versus Oregon, he lined up as a wide tight end on the right side of the formation. He was in a three-point stance, and instantly after the snap, he looked to engage with the outside linebacker on the edge. His responsibility in this play is to double-team the end man or working his hips around the defender in order to seal him back inside. When the other tight end disengaged from his block, Dissly showed that natural flexibility while keeping his core and upper body in position to place himself in order for the running back to get outside. Now, the reverse portion of this toss sweep play design obviously helped his defense, but Dissly did exactly what his coaches wanted. He gave the running back plenty of room to work down the field. Here's another play that really showed off his ability as an inline tight end. Dissly's role is to pin the edge defender back inside in order to open the running lane through the D-gap. Dissly starts the snap by turning his hips and getting his right hand on the outside shoulder of the edge defender. He then works his feet around the assignment and maintains his position to seal the edge for the running back. Plays like the last two were pretty common during his time with the Huskies. He consistently paired his great body positioning and his motor to sustain blocks on the field. There were plays that I saw where every other player stopped blocking to watch, and he was the one that kept going. These are the type of plays that coaches love. They will get him playing time, and they will endear him to everybody in the locker room. As you watch Will Dissly, there's a simple truth is that he's not a flashy player. He's never going to light up the scoreboard, and I'm not going to be the one picking him in fantasy. As a receiver, his athleticism, or really his lack of athleticism, consistently showed up on the field. He's not going to scare defenses with speed or quickness, and defenses won't game plan him out of the game. He's also not a dynamic route runner either. His routes in college were pretty basic, running spots, hitches, seams, and drags, and he struggled to create separation against man and off-man coverage. He consistently took way too many steps at the top of his routes. While Dissly definitely has his negatives, what I found extremely surprising is he's actually pretty good after the catch. He had 0 drops in college too. He ran well after contact, and he kept his legs churning, and he was even used on trick plays as well. I feel like he has potential for his zone coverage based on his intelligence and his tenacity to get open, and that definitely showed during scramble plays. The Seahawks will absolutely love this trait, considering they have Russell Wilson as their quarterback. For an example of this, check out this play versus Oregon. Dissly lines up on the left side of the formation, and he runs a drag route across the field. Once this play broke down, Dissly showed off his intelligence and really his understanding of what he needed to do to get open. He located the linebacker, broke hard up the field, and this is what created an easy cushion for Dissly to make this catch. If he didn't do this, the linebacker would have easily closed down on his route and would have forced the quarterback to throw this ball away. I can't get over how much I love his intelligence and his effort to get open. Even though he's not a great athlete, he'll still add value for this offense as a check down for Wilson. The last thing that I want to talk about is his pass blocking. For my film study, the Huskies used him a few times per game, and he was actually pretty decent. He was pretty good at mirroring defenders, showing his ability to sustain the block, and he never gave up. With the Seahawks signing Ed Dixon, who is also a decent pass blocker, I can see the Seahawks using both in their max protect packages in order to give Wilson more time in the pocket. Moving on, for Disley's role, I see him as a first and second down player to start. I see him lining up as an inline tight end and in the slot, but also in the backfield as a sift blocker as well. He could also sometimes substitute as a lead blocker for the running back. I think Dixon and Nick Van Ness should be the main pass catchers, but Disley should get plenty of playing time too. If you were to look around the league for his player comparison, I see him as the next David Morgan type of tight end. If you don't know him, he's been with the Vikings for 2 years and he's been an excellent role player for their offense. He's a hard worker, he's not very quick or a deceptive route runner, but taken in the 6th round, he has way outperformed draft expectations. That's what I see from Disley. His versatility and frankly his effort will make him very valuable for the Seahawks. Well, that's it for this one. I'm extremely excited to announce this, but I'll be joining The Athletic as one of their film analysts. I'll be covering the Seattle Seahawks, but I'll also be doing general NFL as well. The Athletic has very good premium content, and they have some of the best writers covering all the major sports, so I can't state how incredibly excited I am to join their staff. If you want a discount to join the website, please use the link below in order to get 33% off your purchase. If you are wondering about this channel, have no fear, I'll still be doing videos too. However, some of these videos might get a delayed release, and if you want access to my written breakdowns, I strongly encourage you to sign up. Thanks again for all your support and for watching my videos, and as always, you can find me on Twitter at Samuel R. Gold.